yeah, have departure come up through here. And just for added touch, I would probably... Well, isn't that special? As you can see, the work that I had just done a few minutes ago is no longer there. And that's because I was doing my thing, minding my own business, and all of a sudden Minecraft crashes. And I find myself back, I'd say about 5 minutes or so. And that means that what I had just done fixing the Vez dispenser and so on, I now have to do again. But fortunately, I remember what that was. I think. Let's see, I have to put that repeater in here. I don't know if I actually have to or not, but I remember I did, and the system worked with it, so that's what I'm going to do again. And now we will launch the cart to see if it works. Yes, it works. Okay. Now, the way I'm designing this thing is that for now, it's going to just have the one track outgoing. However, I'm planning for there to eventually be many more tracks added on. Many more destinations. So, trying to plan for those additions in the future sometime. Like, for example, at some point I might decide I want a short track going over to the mining base. I might decide that, in fact, almost definitely, when 1.8 comes out, I'm going to run a new track over into some new unexplored chunks, and we will definitely be wanting transport over to some place like that where there can be some checking out some of the new stuff that will be in 1.8. Okay, I'm going to get up here and get lined up with this track. There we go. And as I was saying before, I'm going to have some kind of an enclosure out here, probably glass or something like that, where the track will come down. Well, okay, it'll come up out of the building. And as it comes out of the building is when it will begin sloping up to meet the track. So, let's see. This is that line, so let's just begin a slope now. just slope this right up to meet the track. Okay. All right. Okay. A little bit of adjustments here and there. These things here will have to be moved, but that won't be a problem. All right. Just fill the rest of this in for now. There. Okay. Let's go ahead and lay down some of the incoming track. Okay. Alright, let's get this track laid down here. Alright, now the outbound track. Alright. Arrivals are going to need to go over this way, at least that far, before jogging down that way to go back to the Pez dispenser. And as more incoming tracks are, as more outbound tracks and inbound, outbound, whatever, as more tracks are added to the system, this line will have to be moved that way to allow for them. But for right now, it will work fine there. And I can see there is going to have to be switching of some kind here. And for the time being, no, it can't be for the time being. I'm not sure I'm doing this right, but I think I've got an idea that should work here. Take that one up, put a detector rail down there. And then use the signal from it to switch that curve piece. Let's see. I don't suppose it could be as simple as just a little bit of redstone. Well, let's drop a minecart on it and see what happens. Okay. I seem to be having technical difficulties. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I've got things sorted out. For some reason my mouse didn't want to right click. And I think I've got things figured out here now. Let's see. Take that off of there. Take that off and take this off. And then I'll fill them in with regular rail. And this down here. Hello. Ugh. Once again, I'm not watching where I step. And this time I was watching where I stepped, and I stepped through it anyway. Okay. Temporary measure here to prevent that from happening again. Alright, now I'll be right back. I need to stop over at a pork chop supply. And I'm back. A little bit the worse for wear for all those falls, but doing alright. Now let's see if we can get this figured out. We need this curve piece to default the way it is, well, to be turned that way when a cart is incoming. So, going to do that, at least I was planning to do that with a detector rail here. And yeah, there's that there. Alright. Drop a card on it. Yes, I brought spare pork chops. Oh boy. Well, it would help if I actually selected the cart. Okay. That means that signal needs to be inverted. Okay. And that is going to mean moving the detector rail back one spot. Alright. Jump down here again. And instead of a piece of redstone there, put a redstone torch on the side of that block to invert the signal. And now, when a cart lands on that, nothing happens. Oh, goody. piece of cobble down there. Down here, hopefully without falling out again. Alright, now it's facing the way we want for outbound traffic. And so, put the detector back here, drop a cart on it to simulate the incoming. And it did switch. How about this? Let's just drop the cart up here, give it a nudge. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Incoming carts will come down here, hit the detector rail, and switch this intersection to that way temporarily. It will default to the way it is so that outgoing carts will be able to go out. And there will be a need to be an arrangement like this for each track that is added onto the system. For right now, there's only going to be the one, but I eventually foresee as many as 8 different tracks coming out of here. Okay, and since this is going to come down here, I have to break another line of glass. And I'll have to replace the sign another time. Like when this thing is finished. Alright. Okay, now let's just do like before. Right here, even with the departures, we will process the arrivals. And here we'll need another ramp. Yeah. Okay, now I need a pressure plate. Is that a pressure plate? Yes. Alright. Okay. Again, we'll deal with the niceties of hiding things later. However, I will take time to fill in this hole in the floor so that I don't fall into it again. Oops. Not like that. That would break the redstone circuit. Okay. Alright, that's the beginnings of where that wall will eventually go. Let's go ahead and drop some mine carts into this thing. Well, it would help if I connected the rest of the rail so that it didn't have to jump over a piece of non-track. Oops. Guess who should have put a stopper block up there and didn't? Well, better late than never, I guess. Now, where did the carts go? Alright, let's try this again. I say that a lot, don't I? It's because I often fail in the first try. Alright. Let's get another one in there. Good. Let's go ahead and load a couple of more. Well, I'm going to load one more and then this other one I'm going to go ahead and put on the outgoing track. Alright. Now this is going to need some powered rails here to boost it along, to get going. Give it another boost here. And then from here, just a matter of lay track up to meet with that. And that's the old every other rail is powered on the incline. I'll have to pretty this up later. Right now, I'm mostly interested in having it work. Gee, a little aggressive with the shovel, are we? Alright. I figured that was going to happen. And just simply, for convenience sake, go ahead and do it with that. Alright. Yeah. Okay, fine. We got two. We'll go ahead and make sure they're both powered instead of just one being. Instead of having two unpowered, we'll have two powered. Obviously, I lost count along the way here, but what the heck? It works. I'll have to get a glass enclosure around this. Speaking of enclose, need a little bit of headroom. Alright. Okay. Looks to me like we have the beginnings of a station here. And there is enough of it in place now so that it should at least work. So let's give it a test ride. Ride out a little ways and come back. Okay, not bad. Now let's see how the arrival feels. That was a little bit laggy because I had the great, wonderful wisdom to choose to attempt this during sunrise. And sunrise is always a major boost in lag, which is why I'm going to wait a little bit before attempting another outbound. I'll be right back. Alright, now the sun is up. Let's try riding inbound. Very good. Let's try another outbound run, this time without sunrise lag. Not bad. A little bit laggy there between the launcher and the turn, but overall not bad, and the whole thing works, which is the most important part. Very good. Now, as for some final details, the wall around this corner, I'm going to have to bring that up, raise up the glass, because I've noted that it is possible for somebody over there on the grass to jump onto the glass and just walk right on in here. That was not what I had in mind when I put all this glass up. So I need to get some work done on that wall and actually start finishing this structure a little bit at least. I think there needs to be some kind of an enclosure. Whoa. Lag spike, and I'm facing a different direction up into the sky. Wonderful. Anyway, there needs to be something of a enclosure for the station, particularly the Pez dispenser part, and I'm not sure about the rest of it because, like I said, I do plan for there to be several additional tracks added onto the system over time, and they will be like this one, only just over a few spaces each. I don't know. I think it's going to need some kind of decorating ideas or something here. Like, for example, the dirt that comprises part of the wall here and the stone over there and gravel over here, and that dirt will all have to come out and be replaced with glass or something that looks good for the back wall of the building. I figure it needs to look reasonably good because this is where people will be arriving when they come from other bases to here. Not that I necessarily expect anybody else will ever actually use it, but you know what I mean. It's the idea, it's the principle that the first thing that someone sees when they arrive at this station or this base by rail, it needs to look kind of classy, especially since this is like the main base, the primary office tower and condo, so on. When I get this thing up a few levels higher, there will be condos in there and offices. I'm not exactly sure what, but it'll be there. I'll get it figured out. Alright. And I think I'm going to attend to this wall and that glass and maybe finishing this up, just do a little bit of finishing on this off camera. And we'll see what happens next.